Located in southwest Indiana, Angel Mounds is the site of the largest settlement of its time in what is now known as Indiana. It was a fortified town serving as a social, political, and religious center for a much larger area of villages, hamlets, and farmsteads that ran 70 miles along the Ohio River from the Wabash River to 35 miles east of Evansville. The town and surrounding settlements together constituted a chiefdom and were occupied from as early as 1000 AD to as late as 1450 AD by Native Americans whom archaeologists have called Mississippians. After the abandonment of Angel Mounds for some unknown reason, the population shifted downstream to the mouth of the Wabash, where they built a number of large villages before leaving the area altogether by 1650 AD. To preserve the Angel Mound site, the Indiana Historical Society purchased 412 acres in 1938 with money donated by Eli Lilly. From 1939 to 1942, the United States Works Progress Administration workers, under the direction of Glenn A. Black, conducted scientific excavations. In 1945, Indiana University began archaeological research at the site, work which continues even today. The property now consists of 603 acres, which contain the museum property, mound site, and woodlands. The Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites Corporation now protects, manages, and interprets Angel Mound State Historic Site. I'm Alina McTeer, and I'm here with Mr. Mike Linderman. Hi, Mr. Linderman. So what exhibits are there to be seen here at the site?
At Angel Mounds, we have the main visitor center here that we're standing in, and we have artifacts and exhibits that detail the history of the property. The artifacts have all been recovered over the last 75 years. When you're done with the main exhibit in the museum building, you go out the back door and you'll cross the bridge, and then you'll be actually on the village site where the people lived. And that's where the 11 mounds are located, and then there's an interpretive trail that goes around there as well.
Now, I've been told that the exhibit has been more accessible to the community.
The property has become more accessible because we've started to do more and more with the property. First, it started off with a wellness trail that was installed out there, and that turned into a cross-country course for the EVSC, and then we had some college runs there too. But to upgrade those trails, because of these runs, we've expanded the trails and we've made them a little bit more firm and flat, so they're more easy for more people to use.
Could you elaborate more on the use of cross-country trails here?
Yeah, we were approached about 3 or 4 years ago by Plaza Park Middle School about using the property for a run, and that took off. And now we're getting, about 3,000 extra people out to the site annually now because of these runs, and our regular attendance has increased also because of that.
So the property being that it is 603 acres, who takes care of the trail work that's outside of the village ground?
Fortunately, the community has stepped up and filled in our lack of staff. We have 5 people that operate the entire 603 acres, so we're short-staffed. Mountain bike trail groups and running groups have also taken over maintenance of the main trails in the other parts of the property outside of the village site. So they maintain about 2.5 miles of trails on the site for mountain biking and for hiking.
So back to the cross country, I heard there is some collegiate meets here.
Yeah, for the next 4 years, or the next 3 years, we'll host the regionals for the NCAA Division II, and then in 2017 we'll host the nationals with 32 teams from all over the United States coming here to the site. And through educational purposes of that, we'll be able to expand their knowledge of the property and things that are going on here, and hopefully they'll go away with a better appreciation of mound sites nationwide.
So what are other plans that you have?
Hopefully in January, some of the staff will be going to Oklahoma to meet with the Miami Nation, who originally were from the state of Indiana, or from what would become the state of Indiana, to try to build a better connection with them, and hopefully they can help us with some programming here on the property. And then in addition to that, we are in a process of starting a capital campaign to raise $50,000 to revamp the exhibit space. These were based on all the work done up until 1963, and since 2005 archaeology has continued on the property with more modern science being used on the property, and that's kind of rewritten the history of what we thought it was. And so some of the exhibits are outdated, and the 50 grand will be here to tweak that and make it more up to date for the general visitor to the property. Angel Mounds is constantly changing. We're not static in what we do out here. We do new programs and new events throughout the year. We do farm programs now based on this being an actual farm for over 100 years. things that people have not thought about doing out here over the last 70 years, and we're really reinventing the property, and it's exciting to be here during all of that.
Thank you, Mr. Linderman.
You're very welcome.
I'm Alina McTier for Bosse's Community Link.